Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE Monday Night Raw for, what's today, the 21st, so it would have been the 19th, 2013. Been extremely busy. I've put this video off long enough. I'm finally getting to watch Raw. I actually started school on Monday, so going back to school I have to adjust to the schedule now. I'm going full time. I have to drive like an hour and a half there and back. So I've just been incredibly busy. I know I have a lot of videos to do. I got 6 videos to do. Raw, Ring of Honor, Dexter, Total Divas. The manga chapters are already out, and the MTV show. So I got a lot of stuff to try and get done tonight. I don't have anything to do tomorrow, so I'm hoping I can catch up on everything tonight. But yeah, so far, what happened here? John Cena comes out, and he really puts over Daniel Bryan. He says that he earned the title. The better man won. He's not making excuses because of his elbow, but he does need surgery on his elbow, so he has to leave the WWE. And all the fans chant yes, which was hilarious. And then he says he's going to be gone for 4 to 6 months or something like that. He says what Randy Orton and Triple H did to Daniel Bryan was disgusting. He felt disgraced. And then he brings Daniel Bryan out and leaves it over to him. So Daniel Bryan, before he can say anything, Stephanie McMahon comes out with that dumb as fuck entrance music. And she gets in the ring and she says that Daniel Bryan, he's not an A, but he's a solid B+. He's small and he's ugly, is basically what she said. Daniel Bryan gets upset. He says, what are you going to do? Fire me? I'll gladly go back to wrestling in armories and selling t-shirts out of my car. And she says that Triple H used to be a renegade, but when you lie with trash long enough, you start to stink. So he's really laying into Stephanie McMahon here. She has security escort him out. And that was pretty much it. I actually agree with a lot of other people that what they do with Daniel Bryan here could be something really special. The guy's already super over. He's already a superstar. He's already a main event guy. But if John Cena is going to be gone, and the focus is going to be Daniel Bryan versus the corporation, the McMahon family, and he's already being escorted out of the building like Stone Cold used to be, then Daniel Bryan could be the new Stone Cold and he could be on top for years. So this could be really good stuff for Daniel Bryan. So I'm waiting to see where exactly they're going with this before I shit on it. Because right now it seems pretty good, and in the long run could really help Daniel Bryan's career. Alright, so we get Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes, a rematch from WrestleMania. Match was okay. I didn't think it was that great, but Cody actually hits his moonsault here. And he rolls up Damien Sandow with one of the fancy leg lucha libre type takedowns and rolls him up for the win, so Sandow loses again. So Cody Rhodes goes over here, and then Brad Maddox is talking backstage, and he reads a comment from Dolph Ziggler about Triple H and how Dolph Ziggler says he never really trusted Triple H since he started working for the WWE. And then Maddox says that I'm going to put Dolph Ziggler in a match not because of these comments, but because he's a show-off. So the WWE, we want to give Dolph Ziggler a chance to show off in a 3-on-1 handicap match against The Shield. So just from seeing that, I assume that's what they're going to do throughout the night. Show people who disagreed with Triple H's decision to turn on Daniel Bryan, and then they get punished for it by being put in extreme matches. Alright, so Heyman comes out with his arm in a sling, and he says it's time for this family feud to end. And if CM Punk will come out and apologize to him, then he can come back to the family, and Heyman will take him to greater heights than what they reached before. He says that CM Punk's the prodigal son, but he wants him back in the family because he loves CM Punk. And he just leaves. That was it. Punk doesn't come out or anything. Then the Bella Twins are trying to bully the Funkadactyls backstage, saying they're boring on Total Divas. And then we get the Funkadactyls versus AJ and Layla. Really, the only thing Layla did in this match was lose the match. She gets tagged in, she runs across the ring and kicks the Funkadactyl Cameron off the apron, and Naomi rolls her up. And so the Funkadactyls win the match and they leave, and Layla's being really just over the top dramatic here. She was trying way too hard to act like, oh my god, I lost the match. It was just way too much. But I don't know, maybe she was doing that on purpose because she was pissed off that she didn't get to do shit but lose the match. So didn't really care for this here. I just saw a sign that says Cena loves scat. But anyways, we get Dolph Ziggler versus The Shield. I actually thought this was pretty boring. Dolph Ziggler tried to fight them off. I thought maybe there was a chance they were going to let Dolph Ziggler get a win here. But, I mean, a very, very small chance to try to push him back up. But no, he loses. So Roman Reigns hits him with a spear. Shield gets the win. Afterwards, they powerbomb Dolph Ziggler. Then we get Alberto Del Rio versus Sin Cara. And what the hell was this? So almost immediately, Sin Cara goes to dive on Del Rio. And he jams his finger, or dislocates his finger actually. So he hits Del Rio with a dive, and then he just kind of falls back. And he's telling the ref to get over here. And I read on the update on the Wrestling Observer website today, the Wednesday update, they actually talk about this. And they said that Sin Cara did dislocate his finger, and Del Rio kept attacking him because he was legit pissed Sin Cara wouldn't finish the match. And if you watch this match, you can completely understand where Del Rio's coming from, because Del Rio has 2 black eyes, busted blood vessels in his eyes, a cut on his head, and Sin Cara is the one stopping the match. So you would probably be pissed off too if this happened. Not to mention Sin Cara's history of just sucking ass. So Del Rio was, I guess, legit shooting on Sin Cara here. He keeps trying to kick him. He tried to throw him back in the ring, and the referee pulled Del Rio out. And you can clearly hear Del Rio say, "Get the fuck out of here," twice to the referee. So this was very entertaining stuff. And Sin Cara sucks. I've been saying that for a while now. So I think this is probably the last straw. Nobody's going to want to work with this guy who's just, I mean, he just kind of acted like a bitch out here over his finger. Maybe he was upset that he had to put over Del Rio yet again, and he didn't want to do the job, so he had the match stopped or something. But yeah, there's plenty of wrestlers who have finished matches with far worse injuries than a dislocated finger. So Del Rio's pissed off. They stop the match. Then Ricardo Rodriguez comes out and he says he's glad he's not going to represent Del Rio anymore. Instead, he's going to represent Rob Van Dam. So Van Dam runs down to the ring. He starts fighting a little bit with Del Rio. He goes for the frog splash. Del Rio escapes. I thought it was pretty good stuff. Del Rio's still doing his thing where he says he's the hero to the Mexican people. He's got little Mexican flags now in the turnbuckles, or the ring post for his matches. So they're doing this thing with Del Rio, but I thought it was entertaining, and that's really just because Del Rio was legit shooting on Sin Cara here, and it was very fun to watch. Well, we just got the Primetime Playas versus the Real Americans. And I guess Darren Young and Titus O'Neil are baby faces now because of WWE doing the whole publicity thing with Darren Young coming out as being a gay wrestler. So, of course, they have to win this match. Darren Young beats Cesaro with the gut buster, the double knees to the gut, and they actually win a match. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with them trying to push this team, but the fact that they're just pushing them because Darren Young came out as gay on TMZ is just a little ridiculous, and honestly, I don't see it lasting. So I just wanted to say one more thing about this whole Darren Young primetime players situation. So assuming they're going to be using Darren Young more, and he's going to be on TV more often now, what bothers me about this is they're pushing the guy because he's gay. It's like pushing somebody because they're black or Latino, which I know WWE does to get different demographics, but it doesn't make it right. And it feels like Darren Young's probably okay with this because WWE, under the guise of possibly giving him a push for this, thinks that this could actually help him. But WWE doesn't really care about Darren Young. They're in this for themselves. They're trying to milk this guy's private life for themselves. And I would be okay if they were actually behind Darren Young at one point, but it's obvious WWE didn't give a fuck about Darren Young before this. But now all of a sudden, they can possibly milk something out of this guy, at least for a very short time, then they're going to do that. And it just kind of bothers me that they're trying to use this guy. And he probably is okay with it because he thinks this could help me out, but I really don't think it's going to. And once they can't get anything out of him anymore, they throw him away. That's just what they do. But anyways, we see Big Show backstage. He says he's going to be pairing up with Mark Henry. And Brad Maddox comes up and says Big Show's been making comments about Triple H too, so he puts Big Show in a 3-on-1 handicap match against the Shield. But unlike the Dolph Ziggler match, where the Shield had to tag in and out, in Big Show's match they're going to be allowed in the ring at the same time. And Big Show says, "Do you really want to do that to the Shield?" So I thought that was a great line by Big Show here. And then we get a Foot Locker commercial with Zack Ryder and Justin Gabriel talking about shoes to some Foot Locker guy. And then Fandango comes up and says, "Those are nice shoes, but can't I dance in them?" It was just incredibly corny. So Ryback is bullying somebody backstage, this guy in the locker room. And at first it was pretty funny. He grabs the guy's bag and he throws it, and then he tells him to pick it up, and he picks it up and he throws it again, and he just keeps doing this. And I thought it was funny, but then he takes the guy to the shower and he tells him to open the bag and pour water in it. And it felt kind of creepy to me. But I like this new Ryback character. So far that's all he does though, is just bully people backstage. He doesn't even have matches anymore. But then we get Big Show versus the Shield. Didn't care about this. I'm already like 2 hours into this show, and it's been pretty boring so far. I have not really cared about this Raw at all. And this match, Big Show tries to fight off the Shield. Eventually he gets speared. They powerbomb him and beat him. That was it. I'm really hoping they don't do this a third time with Mark Henry versus the Shield or some crap. So hopefully this is it. Alright, so CM Punk comes out, and the best part about his promo was some fan was booing him in the audience, and he kind of just goes off on this guy. That was probably the best part. But he says Heyman wants him to apologize, so he tells Heyman to come out and they'll do it face to face. So Heyman comes out with Curtis Axel, and Punk doesn't apologize, so Heyman says Axel will go backstage and tape up his hands for a fight. So they do this little street fight thing. It wasn't a match. They didn't have a referee or anything. But Punk and Axel wrestle around for a little bit. Punk beats him with a chair. Then Axel tries to break Punk's leg, but Punk escapes. And then he starts beating Axel some more and drops him face first onto the steps. And that was it. I mean, I was fine with it. I thought it was okay. Nothing really great, but I mean, Curtis Axel, what is this guy now? I mean, he's nothing. This is the guy they were hyping up. They had him beat Triple H, technically, beat Cena, technically, and now he's just doing nothing, man. And it was actually pretty funny when he came out. He had the Intercontinental title with him, and when he was walking to the ring for the fight, he was trying to hand it to Paul Heyman, who was way the fuck up the ramp, nowhere near him. And he's like, "Take the belt, Paul." And he looks back and he's like, "Oh shit." So he just leaves it there on the floor. Anyways, then we get R-Truth versus the Bray Wyatt family. Actually, I guess I should have waited to see if they were going to cut a promo or not. But I have them posing on top of R-Truth right now. So it's the Bray Wyatt himself versus R-Truth. Excuse me. And Bray Wyatt, they kept it short, which was good. I don't know if his style is he's supposed to look crazy out there in the match, or if there was a lot of miscommunication going on. It's actually hard to tell the difference. To me, it looked like it was miscommunication, though. But Bray Wyatt beats R-Truth with the Sister Abigail, thank God. If he needed the family members to beat R-Truth, then you might as well kill the guy right then and there. Because he's looked pretty weak so far. I mean, he's had to have a lot of help with the family members, which I understand to a certain extent. But being the leader, he has to also be able to look strong. You can't have him out there needing interference against mid-card guys, or lower mid-card guys. So I thought what they did was okay, and like I said, they did keep it pretty short. So they show a vignette for a new tag team, Los Matadores. It's Primo and Epico, so that's something to get excited about. Then we get the Usos versus 3MB. Fuck, this show's been boring. It's not that the match was that bad or anything, but come on. I mean, this entire show's just been really bland. And it's now like 2 hours and 40 minutes in. So, I mean, they really haven't done anything special on Raw so far, but Usos win with the big splash. So it's Miz versus Wade Barrett. Match was alright, I guess. Actually was killing the crowd, which has been a pretty hot crowd for every single thing they've done. But this match actually slowed them down a little bit. The crowd didn't really care about this one. I can't really blame them with some of the matchups they've been doing on this show. But yeah, they were actually killing a otherwise hot crowd. And Fandango jumps off the top rope, or Miz gets Wade Barrett in the figure 4. Barrett was probably going to tap out. And Fandango jumps off the top rope with a leg drop on Miz. So I guess they're going to build towards Miz versus Fandango because Miz punched him in the face at SummerSlam. So Fandango just dances over Miz's body with Summer Rae. Fandango actually helped this. I didn't really care about it myself either until Fandango came out there. At least he was a little entertaining. And then backstage, Brad Maddox tells Stephanie that Daniel Bryan is back in the building. Alright, so the McMahon family is in the ring. They're the villains. You got all the superstars on the ramp, and you got the Shield in front of the ring acting like bodyguards, I guess. And Triple H says he did what he did at SummerSlam for all of us, all the fans, all the superstars, all the fans' kids, their children's children. He did it to ensure the future of the WWE. And as he's saying this, it shows the superstars, and Teddy Long is clapping and smiling. Like, yes, you go, Triple H. I just thought that was funny. So Triple H continues to talk about how he made this decision for the fans and all the children and everything. He actually goes over this twice. And he didn't want to have to work with Randy Orton, but he had no choice. He had to do what was best for business. So he brings out Randy Orton. Randy Orton cuts a pretty bad promo. He's trying to get some heat, so he says stuff like, you guys need to show respect to Triple H. And it was just kind of lousy. So then Triple H starts mocking Daniel Bryan. And he tells the Shield guys to go stand to the side because you're kind of scary. You may be scaring Daniel Bryan. He says, nobody touch him, play his music and everything, we'll get him out here. So Daniel Bryan starts to walk towards the ring in street clothes, and the Shield attacks him. And he fights them off, but eventually he gets speared by Reigns, and Triple H is, or they're going to powerbomb him. Triple H is like, stop, let him come in here and say what he wants to say. So Daniel Bryan tries to get in the ring, he finally gets in, and Orton just hits him with an RKO. And then we see Vince, Stephanie, Triple H, and Randy Orton all holding hands, Evolution style, in the middle of the ring. So I guess the new corporation is Vince, Stephanie, Orton, Triple H, Brad Maddox, and The Shield. I guess is their new heel group here, which is a pretty good group in my opinion. But the only guy who's going to be fighting against them is Daniel Bryan. So this can really make Daniel Bryan into a freaking mega star if they do this right. I mean, it was the best thing on the show. And to be honest with you, if you watch the opening segment and this, that's all you need. You're up to speed if you just watch the opening and this segment here, the coronation of Randy Orton. As long as you see these two things, you're good. Everything else in the middle, this entire Raw, you could freaking skip. It was just a waste. Nothing really good on this entire shit. Well, besides Del Rio shooting on Sin Cara, that was actually the best thing on this show. But yeah, I gotta say this Raw was below average this week. Not a lot to care about here. But anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this Raw in the comments, and thanks for watching.